Good morning.
Good morning, Mrs. Sprinta.
This is Lucas Cohen. He is the golf professional over at the Poland Spring Learning Center that we've talked about, where 6th grade is going to go for a field trip. He's going to show us some things today that hopefully will help us when we're working outside here at school and when we go up there. Okay? Let's give him our attention this morning and keep your hands down until it's time for questions. Okay? We have Mrs. Conway, who is going to be videotaping, so just focus on Mr. Cohen. Okay?
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Cohen.
How's everybody doing today?
Good.
Good. I'm really excited to be here. I'm going to talk a little bit about golf. How many of you, by show of hands, have never played golf before? How many of you have played a little bit of golf? Good. How many of you have been to the Poland Spring Resort before? How many of you have been to the new driving range and learning center at the Poland Spring Resort? Okay. How many of you knew that they just built one? Well, that's good. Did you know that they're going to be building a miniature golf course there as well?
Yeah.
Okay. There's going to also be a disc golf course there, so we're going to have a whole golf park there for you. Okay? Now today we're going to talk about golf, and Mrs. Sprintup has been kind enough to let me speak to you today, and we're going to try to follow up on some of the teaching that she's done, and if you have the answers to these questions, go ahead and feel free to shout them out. Okay? So the first thing that we're going to talk about today are the different parts of the golf club, okay? So what kind of club is this? If you can see this. Go ahead, what do you think, buddy? Iron. This is an iron, that's right, okay? This is a sand wedge, okay? So right here, when we look at this club, what do you think this part of the club is called? What's that? This is the shaft. Let me hear everybody say that.
Shaft.
Good. And this part here?
Handle.
Grip. One more time. What's this part called?
Grip.
Correct. And this part here?
Head.
Club head. That's right. And this part here?
Face.
Club face. That's correct. And the center of the club face is called the? Center of the club face is called the sweet spot. Okay? That's where you want to hit the ball. Anybody ever hit a shot and it feels like you hit something soft, like a marshmallow, right? That's because you're hitting the sweet spot of the club and the ball's actually compressing to the face of the club, okay? So this is the sand wedge, okay? And the loft on this club is about 56 degrees, okay? So this angle here is the loft of the club. So this is going to make the ball go higher than a club like this. Does everybody see the difference in these two angles here? Yeah. You see that? So this one's going to go higher, and this one's going to go a little bit lower. But which one do you think is going to go farther? What do you think? This one, that's right, because it has a lower loft. So the trajectory is going to be more like this with the 7-iron. And a sand wedge is going to be more like that. And sand wedge will probably produce a little bit more spin also. Okay? What club is this? I can't hear you.
The putter.
I'm sorry. What's that?
The putter.
Oh, okay. This is the putter. That's correct. What's the most important club in the bag? Putter. Why do you think that is? Anybody? What do you think? Use it to get the ball in the hole. That's correct. What else? Anybody else have an idea why this is the most important club in your bag? What do you think? What do you think? The head is smaller. That's correct. What do you think, kiddo? You do use it to get it in the hole. What do you think, kiddo? What do you think, buddy? Yes. Excuse me? All of those are true statements, but the reason why this is the most important club, what do you think? What do you think? Okay. The answer is because you use this club the most. Okay? So if you use this club the most, the fastest way to make a lower score, which is the object, right, is to get the ball in the hole in the fewest amount of strokes, right? So it doesn't matter whether you hit the ball 300 yards or 3 feet. It still counts as one shot. Except you should never miss a 3-foot putt. Okay? But it happens. It happens even to the pros. So this is the most important club in the bag. And where do you use this club? On what part of the golf course? What do you think?
Green.
The putting green. That's correct. Can you use this club from off the putting green if you want to? Yes, you can. You could use this club from the middle of the fairway if you want to. You could use it out of the bunker if you wanted to. I don't know how good it would work, but you can use this club wherever you want to on the golf course, okay? Every time you hit a shot, it counts as one stroke, right? Okay. What's this club called? What do you think? Close? Try again. What do you think? It's not a driver. What do you think, Peter? Close? Fairway wood. This is a 3-wood. Okay? Notice anything different about the shaft of this club? It's red. It's the same thickness, but it is red. It's made out of graphite. Okay? So it's lighter. How about this one? Peter said this earlier. What's this one called? Hybrid. Okay? Now, why would this be called a hybrid? Does anybody know? What do you think? It's a good guess. What is a hybrid? Does anybody know the definition of a hybrid? Not just a golf club, but a hybrid. What do you think, kiddo? A mixture of things. That's right. So a hybrid is a mixture of a wood and an iron. Okay? That would make a club that looks like this. So it's not quite a wood, but it's not quite an iron either. Okay? What's this called? I can't hear you.
Driver.
One more time.
Driver.
There we go. Okay? So what are the differences between this wedge and this driver? What do you think? It's taller. What else? What do you think? The head is bigger. That's correct. What do you think? What do you think? It's red, right? We talked about the shaft. This is made out of what?
Iron.
This is made out of what?
Iron.
This is made out of steel. The shaft is made out of steel. Okay? What else is different? What do you think? You think so? Sometimes it might be, but it's actually probably easier to hit this club because it's shorter and you're closer to the ball. The longer the club is, the harder it is to hit. But that's why they make them so big, to make it easier. What else do you see that's different? That's correct. What do you think this head is made out of here? It's actually made out of titanium. Titanium is much lighter than steel or iron. Okay? What are some other differences? Which one of these do you think weighs more?
Iron.
That's correct. The iron weighs more. Which one do you think you can swing faster? What do you think? The driver. Okay? What's up, buddy? You're talking about the loft? Yeah, that's correct. This club here, if you look at the loft of this club, there's not very much loft on this club. Okay? This has about 9.5 degrees of loft on it. And this one has about 56 degrees of loft. So Which one do you think is going to go higher? The wedge, yes. And which one's going to go farther? That's correct. Okay. So just so you can hear the difference in the swing, you'll be able to hear this. This is club head speed here. Hear that little whoosh? Okay? Here we go. You hear the difference, right? All right, so we're going to talk about the 4 things that you have complete and total control over in your setup. And then we're going to talk about the swing, and we're going to do a little video analysis too. Okay? What's this called here?
Grip.
I can't hear you.
The grip.
That's 1. Okay? This right here, this angle of my back is 2. What's this called? Anybody know? Who said it?
Your posture.
Posture. So this is the second part you have total control over. What's it called?
Posture.
I can't hear you.
Posture.
That's better. Okay? Now, we'll talk about those 2 things. You want to grip the club in your fingers with your left hand, and you want this line here between your thumb and first finger to point somewhere between your chin and your right shoulder. Okay? And then with your other hand, with your right hand, you can either do a baseball grip. If your hands aren't very strong, you can do an interlocking grip if you have small hands, or you can do an overlapping grip if you have bigger hands. Okay? And again, when we look at the top view here, you want this line here between your thumb and your first finger to point somewhere between your chin and your right shoulder. So you're looking at lines here. Okay? You're looking at the lines on your hands, and notice how you don't have, this is 1 unit on the club and you don't see any big gaps in the grip. You would never want to grip the club like a hockey stick. Okay? You want to grip it like a golf club. The grip controls the
Head.
and the
Face.
correct. Okay? Now posture. Now tell me, what do you think? Does this look like athletic posture to you?
No.
Okay. But sometimes you'll see people standing like that over the ball. So this is a drill that you can do to improve your posture, and this will help you hit the ball farther and more consistently. Okay? So you take your club and you rest the club on your back like so. Okay? So now you have 3 points touching. Your tailbone between your shoulder blades and the back of your head like this. So see how straight I'm standing here? And then you bow forward and you keep all 3 points touching like this. So this is a much more athletic position to set up to the ball from. Okay? So that's how you want to stand. Now that angle is called your spine angle. And we said it before, that's your posture. You want to have good posture. You want to have a good spine angle. Now to be consistent with the swing, you want to maintain your spine angle throughout the swing. And what that means is this. See the angle of my back? Okay. Has it changed?
No.
How about now?
No.
How about now?
No.
So you maintain your spine angle throughout your swing. Anybody ever top the ball when they're playing? When you hit the top of the ball and just rolls. Anybody ever do that? One of the reasons that happens is because you start with a spine angle that's not very athletic, and then when you swing, you come up out of your spine angle. Okay? So how do you fix that? Is you have a good spine angle to start, and you keep that spine angle throughout your swing. Okay? Now we're going to talk about the last 2 things that you have total control over. So we've talked about grip and we've talked about posture. Okay? Next thing we're going to talk about is alignment and ball position. Okay? So let's say, does anybody know what the word parallel means? What do you think? What do you think? Two lines that never come together. 2 lines that never intersect. That's correct. So this right here, these 2 lines are parallel to one another, right? Okay? train tracks are two lines that will never come together, correct? Okay? So you want to think of alignment like train tracks, okay? If I could just have everybody just look over here. Okay? Now we're going to say that this white line right here, this is our target line. Okay? So we'll put the ball right on the target line. So you want your stance to be parallel to the left of your target line. So if I were to take this alignment aid, set it on the ground, parallel to the target line, this would be a good way to practice to know that your alignment is really good. So we'll have Mrs. Frithaup stand on our target line. Okay? So if I'm set up now to hit this ball, and I want to hit it straight at my target, then I would set up with my stance parallel left to the target line. So this is open to the target line, and this would be closed to the target line. So if you do this properly, you should hit this right at Mrs. Frithaup. You ready? Here it comes. So it went a little left, but I pulled it a little bit, so that's a pull. If I went a little right, that would be a push. If you were right-handed, I'm sorry, if you were left-handed, you have your feet parallel to the right of the target line. Does everybody understand that concept?
Yes.
Okay. And the last thing we're going to talk about that you have complete and total control over is your ball position. Okay? Okay, so ball position with your wedges and your short irons is going to be right in the center of your stance here. So right in the center of the stance with the wedges and the short irons. Now your mid irons, your 7, your 6, and your 5 iron are going to go one ball ahead of center. So if this is the center here, you just want to move your body this way slightly. That's it, that's all. One ball ahead of center. Okay? For your hybrids, your fairway woods, and your long irons, you want to put the ball 2 balls ahead of center. Okay? So you go here, center, and then you would just move slightly this way. 2 balls ahead of center. Okay? Okay?
Mr. B to Mrs. Simpson's room, please.
And then the driver, you would put 3 balls ahead of center or just off the inside of your front heel. Okay? Okay? So those are the 4 things you have complete total control over. Your grip, your posture, your alignment, and ball position. What are the 4 things you have complete and total control over? Let me hear it. Posture is correct. What else? Grip. What else? Ball position. Alignment. Very good. So if you do those 4 things, it'll make it a lot easier for you to swing. And the only thing, without getting too technical with you, that I'd like to see you do next week is try to finish your swing. So a finish position could look something like this. We want it to be in balance. Okay? So, does anybody have a favorite golfer? Tiger Woods. Okay, we're going to look at some video now about and compare some golfers, and Tiger Woods is going to be one of them. Okay? So where is Tiger Woods' head in relationship to the golf ball? Is it in front of the ball or behind the ball? Behind. Behind the ball, okay? Still in the same spot, right?
Yeah.
Where's his head now? Okay. So I'm just trying to make a point. Where do you think your head should be in relationship to the ball? Okay. Staying behind the ball in the same spot. And how about that position there? What is that position called, everybody? Finish, or the follow through. Now, has anybody ever heard of BJ Singh? You see what he has on the ground here?
Yeah.
What we talked about before, right? The alignment aid. Okay? So you see how his feet are parallel to this shaft on the ground. Okay, so that's what he's working on there is his alignment to his target. Those lines are parallel, right? Do you see this gentleman standing in this frame right here? Does everybody see this guy? Yeah. See how he's got a club touching his head? Why do you think he's doing that? So he doesn't move it, right? So he keeps his head behind the ball. That's right. Who would like to see Mrs. Sprint Up swing on video? You want to give it a try? Okay.
Okay, Justin, can you put me over there?
There you go. First thing that we look at is her grip. So we can zoom in on that. We can see that she has a really good grip. Okay? Where is her head in relationship to the ball? That's good. Let's see if she keeps it there. Okay? Got it behind the ball. Okay? See, in this position here, that's the great thing about video analysis is you can really slow everything down and look at your position. So she's doing a good job here of transferring her weight to her back foot. But we would like to see her keep this foot on the ground here. Okay? She doesn't need to do that. So that's going to make it a little bit harder for her to come back to the ball. But she does a good job of it, and she plants it nicely on her downswing. So she's keeping her head behind the ball, and she has a pretty good finish there. Okay? We'd like to see a little bit more extension through the ball. Let's just watch it one more time. There she goes. See how she plants this foot on the downswing? She puts it right back down, boom, and this is where she's transferring her weight to her front foot. Her head's behind the ball at impact, which is good. We just like to see that trail foot come up off the ground a little bit more. Any other teachers want to give it a try?
I do.
Said that this doesn't feel natural. You know what? Gripping the golf club typically is not a natural thing. Neither is the golf swing. So when it feels unnatural, guess what? That's how you know you're doing it right. Okay? If it feels comfortable, it would be easy. And everybody would be a pro. Everybody would be as good as Tiger Woods. So you don't want to laugh at people when they're struggling. This is hard. Okay? So you want to take your time and be supportive of people. All right, so let's give her our attention. Go ahead and take a practice. Go ahead. Okay? A little bit bigger. Okay? A little bit bigger on the back. Okay. Atta girl. There you go. Good. Do it one more time. Big swing. Big swing. There you go. Stay right there. Do it one more time. One more time. Hold the pin. That's good. You're doing good. Stay right there. Stay right there. So this is good. See how she's got this foot up like that? Let's get your hands around your body like this. Stay right there. Now try to swing into that position.
Okay.
go. Good. Very good. Go ahead. Try again. There you go. Very good. All right. Now you're ready. Here you go. You're doing great. You're welcome. Never held a golf club before. Go ahead. Yeah! Very good. So that was very good. Thank you all for being quiet while she's going, because you will see next week when you come to the range, I'm going to want you to be quiet at the range also, okay? We're really excited to have you come to the Poland Spring Resort Learning Center. So, who here knows what etiquette is? Anybody know what the word etiquette means? What does it mean? Manners. Who here has good manners? I'd like to see everybody's hands here. I wish. Okay? You need to have good manners when you come to the resort next week, okay? When there's someone else hitting, you are going to be quiet, okay? When they do a good job, you can tell them, nice shot. You can applaud, that's great. But we have to have you with good etiquette there, okay? We're very excited to have you come. Now, does anybody have any questions for me? What's up?
Why do you do that whole thing when you move your arms every time?
What's the waggle?
Yeah, like you move your hands back, like you won't.
This here? Like that?
Yeah, why do you do that?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. Why do you waggle? Okay? You waggle for a number of reasons. One of them is to release the tension in your body, because you don't want to hit the golf ball from a stiff and stagnant position. So this right here allows you to loosen up your body and get ready. Okay? The other thing that it's helping you do is it's training your body for a good takeaway position. Here, this is the takeaway. And delivery. So this is replicating takeaway, delivery. Takeaway, delivery. Okay? Yes? This right here is the waggle. So this gets you loose. Anybody here play baseball or t-ball? Okay? So when you stand in the batter's box, you don't just stand there, right? Who's a Boston fan? Who knows who Lucas is, right? He's got some waggle, huh? He's waggling up here. Same thing. He's just getting loose, right? He's just getting loose. He probably hits the golf ball a mile, right? Any other questions? I've been playing golf since I was 3 or 4 years old. Any other questions? Yes.
What's your lowest score for 18?
My lowest score for 18 holes is 67.
For those of you that don't know, we haven't talked about this in class, par for the course means what you should shoot it in is 72.
Typically par is 72, so that's 5 under par. Now the pros, I always say that my average score is probably between 67 and 77. But the pros on the PGA Tour, their scores are probably between 62 and 72. So they're quite a bit better. And once you get into those lower scores, it's really hard to shave strokes off your game. Any other questions? Yes?
Do you like to golf?
I love to golf. Yes? I would just go to the driving range at first, and then, you know, when it wasn't busy at the golf course, my dad would take me out late in the afternoons, and we would just play a few holes at a time. And the best way to start is really, you know, you don't start all the way at the back tee. You'd probably start from like 100 yards away, and just get comfortable from 100 yards and in, and then you steadily back up. Extra credit for a golf ball, okay? What are the little circles on the golf ball called? Holes. Good guess.
Craters?
think? Close. What do you think?
His head crackles.
What do you think? I can't hear you. You got it right. Say it loud. Louder than that. These little holes on the ball are called dimples. What are these lines on the face called?
Sweet.
The lines on the face. The lines on the face. No, we haven't talked about it. What do you think? No? What do you think back there? No? We haven't talked about it today. The lines on the club. What do you think? It starts with a G.
John.
These lines. What do you think, kiddo? Ooh! You got it right. What's it called? Grooves. That's correct. Everybody's going to get brand new golf balls when you come to the range next week.